Where did you see on your metrics in terms of hours saved plus quality increased? Where do you see the processes with the biggest impact so far?
Mm-hmm. It is talent acquisition, for instance, CV screenings
Mhm.
or candidate interview scheduling. There is a lot possible with automation how to scale it more efficient. Then we see that in P&C operations for reportings, for self-service for our employees. We see that also for talent management or employee service feedback. There are a lot of possibilities with automation, how to structure that better, how to gain via AI. And here AI really is an enabler, supports you with actions, how actually create then or draw from the feedback actions that you can work together with the managers and people to really then increase better solutions in the organization.
Today's guest, Nina Kirr, SVP, President of People and Culture at Proalpha, a very successful tech company here in Germany. And maybe, Nina, I'm really glad that you're here. And we start with an introduction about yourself.
Yes, thank you very much, Thomas. Thanks for the invitation and for having me. And I'm happy to start with a short introduction. So, as you said, Nina, I'm SVP People and Culture at Proalpha. We're a leading ERP software company, and we're providing our services for mid-size industrial companies, primarily with a focus on the DACH region. Today, the group consists of 12 specialized software units with more than 2,400 employees, and we're operating in 9 different countries. And we're supporting thousands of customers driving digital transformation, operational excellence, long-term growth with our products that I use. To myself, a few words might be interesting as well. So I'm with the company for almost 3 years. And when I stepped in that role, I inherited a function that was still, I must say, focused on administrative HR tasks. So my mission was to transform into a modern strategic people and culture organization. On the one hand, that connects a diverse group of companies that we acquire through acquisitions. And to combine them with a shared framework, with common principles, with regular collaboration across countries and the business units. And today, my team and I, we're working on one of the biggest opportunities, I think, that many HR leaders and teams are facing, and that is demonstrating real return on investment through technology use. And AI plays a very important role here. And we have a situation that we were forced to change our HCM system in a very short way. I will share that in a second in more detail. And that really brought us in a situation to completely rethink our tech stack and how we can actually bring automation and AI into our people and culture department.
Can you share why you had to change so short notice?
Sure. So that was, I think, very unuseful situation. But actually, our service provider decided to end the cooperation for strategic reasons. We have in our Proalpha group our own HCM product. And for strategic reasons, the service provider decided that they do not want to have a customer that are actually having their own HCM product in their portfolio.
Okay, because of competitiveness, for instance. Okay. Okay, understood. Okay, that's a really ad hoc scenario then. What was then the timeline for you, and what were the implications?
Yeah. So the timing was quite tough because the termination period was 6 months. So we had 6 months receiving the termination and making sure that we go live with our new product. We're actually short before go live because actually go live is planned for January. So we're in the final steps. And as I said, it brought the opportunity to really rethink our own tech stack. It brought, secondly, the opportunity that we can use our own products in the group now, our product Process and Teaserware, and we will add or have already added an external ATS system to combine the tech stack that we're using.
Hmm?
And what was also very important is that with creating a new tech stack, we got the chance that we really build now a structure with a more cleaner data, I would say, with more harmonized processes, and which really builds a good foundation for automation. And that is very, very much important for us.
what data did you harmonize? Is it the classical stack of recruiting data with the HR data, with maybe some payroll data?
Mm-hmm. We started actually a bit earlier. So we started first of all with our infrastructure. So our HCM system was implemented, I think it was 7 years ago. And as we're growing so fast via acquisitions, we have now a different situation in the company. We have aligned much more how controlling is actually looking at the business and reflecting that in our new HCM org structure. We have also added more opportunities how to actually look at the organization from a matrix perspective, from a controlling perspective, from a legal entity structure, from an employment structure. And we have then harmonized processes to the needs that we see in the organization with the different entities we have. We're able to include also works council processes, which is important for us as well to reflect this. And yes, we have included payroll processes, have also aligned that to be scalable and integrate that for the different countries as well. And it will make us much more powerful in the future and more efficient.
How many companies did you acquire?
We're now a set out of 12 companies. We acquire per year 2 to 4 companies in average.
And what is the focus there? Is it varying over time, or do you have a certain strategy?
We do have a strategy. So our core product is ERP. That is really where Proalpha has been established 30 years ago. And 7 years ago, we took the decision that we want to change the strategy and that we not only want to grow with our own ERP product,
Mhm.
but acquire solutions that will add to our ERP product, like HCM, like CRM solutions, like finance solutions, everything that provides a benefit to our own ERP product to our customers. And we're having always 100 to 120, I would say, assets in the pipeline where we're looking, okay, what makes sense to add? And what is important, we have created lines of businesses. So for Teasaware, Persis, Scribbly, this is our HCM product. It's their own line of business. We have financial products that are supporting the financial needs of our clients. And we always looking when we acquire new companies, which line of business does this fit best? And what are the needs that we see at our customers. And that brings the advantage that we have a high cross-selling potential
Yeah.
to all our ERP customers that we already have. But we have also a high opportunity for the acquired companies that they can do cross-selling. And we are more diverse in our business when we see, for instance, at the moment for automotive, bit challenging the situation.
Mhm.
And we are more diverse with our products to tangle different industries.
Wow. Okay. And how do you decide if you want to integrate a company into your overall structure, or you just keep them independent? Do you have as a one size fits all approach, or do you just also determine case by case?
We have a strategy. I would say it's a light integration approach. So what we do is that we keep the brand because most of the time it's really it is a USP that we acquire the brand. We focus and keep the go-to-market functions in the business unit, and we integrate in a shared service model the general and admin functions. I would say like people and culture, like IT, like internal controlling, finance, legal, etc. And that way we combine both of best worlds that, especially for people like culture, when we acquire companies that are usually smaller than Proalpha, so they're usually around between 30 to 120 employees, they always very open to get a professionalized people and culture team with the benefits, with the talent structures, with the compensation structures. And we support their teams and include our formats and processes to that new acquired companies. That's one aspect. And the second one is that we see that is very important that we are able to create a common culture. That means we do respect and we need the individual cultures that we acquire when we acquire companies. And at the same time, we need to build a framework that every single employee makes themselves familiar with being also an employee of the Proalpha Group. And therefore, it is helping to have common processes for talent development, for payment development, for celebrating together to actually create that framework. And that is how we do it.
And how long does an integration take for you? That you
Mhm.
say it's done. It's maybe never done, but when you say, okay, it's good enough.
Never finished. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a transformation. That's right. But we usually start quite after the closing of the deal so that we get in contact with the relevant stakeholders. So in my part, it's usually the HR responsibility or whoever owns HR. And it's usually a process of 6 to 12 months, depending how large they are, what they have, and what their needs are. We're always checking what is the business situation and the needs of the business. We do not want to interfere or risk any kind of business because of the integration activities. But usually we have the shared services rolled out, so approx after 12 months. The talent management process take a bit longer because it requires certain standards that we integrate together with the acquired companies time after time.
Okay. Um, Interesting. You shared that you are also automating a lot and trying a lot of AI use cases. Can you maybe share what was or is on your automation and the AI roadmap?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, yeah, what did we do? So we were sitting down after that HCM situation occurred and looked very critical at our tech stack. And we said, okay, we need a roadmap here and we need clear milestones, how we want to proceed and what we want to achieve. So we have a clear focus on talent acquisition because there are a lot of repetitive tasks where automation and AI can help. On P&C operations, so everything which is a transactional business, and on analytics and decision support. What we do is, and what we have created is that we measure really the return on investment. That is very important for me, return on investment and KPIs. So we really measure the saved hours in FTE equivalent, and we also measure the service quality improvements because that is also what it's about. We want to have happy customers, which are our managers and our employees. Um, how do we approach when we integrate the automation solution? So what we do is that we lead the selection of the tools that we need, but we have a strong support from our IT department, which is very important. So they actually ensure together with us that we select solutions that are then really based on our needs, but also guaranteed that technical quality, security, and the integration in our existing tech stack in the company will be successful. And what we're very clear about, and that is always important for me to say, is that is AI is for me not the destination. AI is for me the enabler inside a broader automation roadmap. You need firstly ensure balanced processes, then start with automation, and then add AI. And that is really the key for success for me to really integrate AI successfully in the roadmap. And
And
that's
where
how
did
we
you see on on your metrics in terms of hours saved plus quality increased? Where do you see the processes with the biggest impact so far?
hmm It is talent acquisition, for instance, CV screenings
Mhm,
or candidate interview scheduling.
mhm,
There is a lot possible with automation how to scale it more efficient. Then we see that in P&C operations for reportings, for self-service for our employees. We see that also for talent management or employee service feedback. There are a lot of possibilities with automation, how to structure that better, how to gain via AI, and here AI really is an enabler, supports you with actions, how actually create then or draw from the feedback actions that you can work together with the managers and
mhm.
people to really then increase better solutions in the organization.
Yeah, uh, definitely. What I also see is a very great increase in reporting and creating certain reports from unorganized data. What you maybe in the past you would need to draw an export, then you need to manipulate the data in a certain way that you can create a chart or something. And this is what I see also as a very big, also what you see, but also this is also something additionally what I see that reporting can get way more easier and faster and pragmatic with just throwing a certain data source that can be unorganized into a tool, and then it's organizing it for you very fast and also very simple through prompting. I see this very often through our note takers we use, but
hmm
also through our um, reporting in terms of hires we made and so on, that you could just prompt and say, okay, what are the or what are the hires we made in a certain sector, for instance, in the IT professional service space in Germany, for instance, SAP integrations. And then
Yeah.
you get a list of candidates, and then otherwise you would need to filter, you need to build a list and so on. And this is really interesting for me, especially if I'm talking to customers, for instance, who also want maybe sometimes some benchmarking data. This is really powerful because in the past it would take hours of preparation, and sometimes now it can happen live in a call while prompting.
Absolutely agreed. And that is also something I think which is for HR so important because I mean, you will always get the attention that you need and to say in the C level if you have really proof of your numbers, right?
Mhm.
And you have arguments that you can fill with figures. And even especially, I mean, if we're talking salaries, increases, and everything, that's also very, very powerful when we think about Copilot, that they can actually access your company data. You prompt there something and get in a second perfect, not perfect, but almost perfect results. And you can then add additional questions to get the one or the other tweak that you really need to present. And that is something which is absolutely powerful. I totally agree.
Mhm. Um, what I really like in your style is the clarity on how you describe things, the strategic perspective, and also the commercial perspective in an people and culture function. Now, I would be really interesting on what is your and your C levels or CFO and CEOs relationship perspective towards the HR budget? Because
Mhm.
often I see that this is just seen as a cost center, and then they don't have a say and so on. And then they never get out of this, let's say, perspective where it's not really a value adding function. It has to be done. And this is, I think, not a good state of people and culture.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
can you share some insights or experience from your end?
Sure. Yeah. And I must say, yes, it's always a challenge for me as well. But I think we're making good progress here. So I'm in a very good situation that our C level, our CEO and our CFO, they do understand that we're in software and a people business. And that it's all about the people and that actually the people are the ones that bring the results and the success of the company. So they do understand that it's very important that we have a strong invest in our people and also in the culture.
Mhm,
And that's why how it works for us is I get a budget and I can fill that budget with the needs that I see. I get budget additionals if I think that they're necessary. What I need to do then is, and then we're coming back, I really need to present a business case. I need to show why I believe that it's important to do, what are actually the efficiencies that we have. And ideally, I have to present that in numbers and in figures. And what is the benefit for the company and the business? Exactly what you just said. And if I'm able to present that, then we're having usually an alignment that is the right way to proceed, and I do get the budget.
mhm,
On the other hand, to be honest, we have sometimes challenging situations. I've experienced that where we need to do budget restraints, and
mhm.
everybody, and that is for people and culture the same, needs to contribute to that. So yes, sometimes we need to challenge critical our budget and have to make cuts off, but we always make a decision here. And what is important for me is that I have overall the backup from my C level that they understand that the function is important and we need to invest here.
And how did you get there? Was it always like that, or did you build that reputation?
I think yeah, I was part of it, I would say, to build that reputation. So, what really helps is, as I said, showing figures and numbers. We have a very low attrition rate. It's below 4% at the
Wow.
moment, which is for the software industry very, very low.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about voluntary attrition. And that has even, since I'm in the company, declined from 8%, which was already low. But we are constantly moving in a good direction. Um, and we are doing feedbacks. We're receiving positive feedbacks. We're having good community rate where they see, and they have understood that if we are able to retain our talents, that we can save costs a lot. I mean, everybody knows you better than me. I believe how expensive it is actually a valuable source, valuable employee to
Yeah,
exchange that
100%.
usually, yeah, costs much more. And also, it's hard to build up that knowledge again.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it was time over time for the different processes and the feedback they see, and then it actually works.
Nina, therefore, I have a really good example for you. We are also a service company, and we don't have our own software or something, right? But let's say I get a monthly executive summary from my finance team on the productivity per employee, also financial productivity per employee.
Mhm.
And sometimes when there is somebody leaving the company, then I'm always looking at the lifetime productivity. And I see the longer people stay, the higher not just the absolute number is, because, okay, the longer they stay, the longer they are productive, the longer they are profitable. Of course, the number is higher. But also in percentage, if you compare it, you can see that the longer they stay, the increase in productivity at some point, of course, has a ceiling, but is increasing over time until year 1 to 2, and then it stays a bit of like flat, but consistent. Um, and I had this year and last year 2 cases where we, in the probation period, ended, or the person just rejected and left. And there we saw a negative impact on the productivity as well, and it just cost money. If somebody leaves after 1 year, it's not ideal because you never get in this leverage phase. So I see how much it costs in terms of people leaving the company early, also the context that is lost, that is not just considered there. It's just a financial perspective, but I really always see it black and white in front of me, and just try to focus on retention with our incentive program and so on. And when companies do this right, I think they really have the ability to make a difference, especially in the service field as well, because it's a lot of things are happening also through relationships and so on, and there you can see a big leverage and momentum effects that are also not measurable. So that's definitely the case.
Yeah, and that actually brings us back to automation and AI in terms of retention as well, because I do see, at my example earlier, screening, we're receiving more than 2,500 applications per month. So somebody needs to look at all these applications and the CVs. And I think if I have the capability to reduce this, repetitive, kind of boring task and free up that space, that those people can actually create more valuable tasks and coach and work closer with the hiring managers together, that does also something do with retention. We are helping to retain them, developing the people with there. And I think that is something that is also an important aspect. At the same time, we need to balance that we do not ask for too much at the same time from the people, that we help them to get there, that we train them, that we get feedback. That is an important aspect. But overall, I think it's a fantastic chance for the whole team to grow and develop.
I also saw on a post from Alex Meyer in your team that I think you were also winning the Employer Branding Awards or something.
As Alex received that as Employer Branding Manager of the Year. Yes.
Yes. So
Deserved, I must say.
yeah, great. So what contributed to that?
Yeah. So that was one of the projects, I would say, that I soon started after I joined Proalpha. We said, okay, we need to work on our employer brand. And what is very important for me was we always had a quite good repetitive a brand external. But what was for me very important was to remember and remind our people inside, our employees, that we're actually quite a good employer, that we have interesting benefits, career opportunities. And actually, the project was for me even more about reputation inside than external. So we did a project where we really integrated employees from all our business units, management. We did workshops, and we created and worked what is actually the value proposition as an employer that we have. And from that together, we created our strategy and our claim, which is ProU, where we say we really want to put the people at the center of what we do at Proalpha. Because as I said, we are in a people business. It is about our people to being successful. And Alex, our brand manager and talent acquisition manager, she together with the team actually created the entire content about it, led the workshops. We did communication internal. We have worked closely with our employees. We did a complete rebranding of our career website, which was also received very, very positive, external, but also internal. And that is now, a strong part of our P&C DNA and of the company, our ProU employer brand.
I really need to get her on the show for that as well, because I think that's really, really interesting.
Okay, we love it.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything what you could give our audience as learning or as a main learning from your perspective when they
Yeah,
also want to automate or
yeah,
do something what you did
yeah.
with the AI roadmap, efficiency, quality?
I think just start would be my advice. It might look very big, but just sit down and start. And you can start small. Measure an impact of one process. Make sure that you balance them first. As I said, then invest in smart automation and then add AI and then share that story. It's very important that we in HR people and culture also share the stories and success. So the people hear that. And what is also important, I think very important to get the team on board. It is not about replacing people automation and AI. It's really not about it. It's more about focusing the human side of HR and making it more important because it actually frees up more time to focus on the really valuable part of HR, of coaching, consulting, supporting leadership, building, fostering culture. And if you consider this, I think you will be certainly successful in being or increasing automation and AI.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Thomas, very much. It was fun, and I wish you a fantastic rest of the day.
You too.